And as we speak, Bomaza is a scene of crime. And everybody knows.
Wapi.
The campaign and political season in Kenya is experiencing shambles. From questionable degree certificates,
I'm glad that we've been vindicated. We stand qualified. We have the requisite qualifications.
To disputed conducts of political aspirants.
On leadership and integrity, for those individuals who have been found wanting.
Allegations of crowd hiring and the manipulation of campaign photos and videos.
And the same faces in Juja, the same faces I saw in Katundu, the same faces I saw in Ruiru. I think people should stop this tabia of transporting supporters from one place to the other. It doesn't make you more popular. It doesn't indicate any support that you've got more than other people.
Over the years, elections in Kenya have become highly competitive due to the power, prestige, and several benefits that are attached to the different elected offices. The winner-takes-it-all electoral system in Kenya has undoubtedly created a do-or-die environment around political competition in the country, pushing political aspirants to be aggressive and design new ways of luring voters to their camp.
100 days, gharama ya maisha itafanya nini? Itashuka.
Na huu utakuwa mji safi. Na ndivyo tutaendelea kufanya kazi kama mji safi.
Tunaweka bilioni 100 kupanga ajira ya hawa vijana kama priority yetu number 1.
Compared to previous ones, the 2022 campaign season has witnessed an increase in the use of social media among its political aspirants in a bid to engage with voters in a more direct way compared to traditional forms of campaign such as rallies, billboard advertising, and media.
When you look at 2022 election in comparison to 2017, it's true you will notice that a number of politicians have resorted to go to social media to sell their agenda. And this could be informed by the fact that they are realizing that a big chunk of young people are on social media. And their target, that could be their major target of the votes that they want to get.
How many people do you reach out when you're using social media? And that is why you find people coming in to use renowned personalities. That is why you see people coming out to reach out to social media influencers, people who have a large following, and things like those ones. So it is an effective way of resource usage, especially during this electioneering period. But then it is also a way in which you reach out a bigger number of people who would traditionally not want to attend rallies.
However, despite this significant increase of social media use, politicians have still invested heavily on traditional forms of campaign, with the two rivals presidential hopeful touring the country to beseech voters and spread their agendas across Kenya.
Vijana fire! Vijana fire! Vijana fire! Vijana fire! Vijana fire!
Due to the fierce battle, analysts have estimated that both Raila Amolo Odinga and William Samoei Ruto will be the highest spenders come the end of the campaign period in August.
So for the politician who is going to use an integration of both, going out there, calling guys for rallies, having town hall meetings, having targeted group meetings, and then at the same time as well use social media. This is a politician who is going to use more money.
Political aspirants of other positions have still had to invest heavily as well, with politicians taking up most billboard advertising spaces on Kenyan roads and other billboards that are strategically positioned to reach a big number of targeted voters, campaign posters and banners positioned to popularize candidates and influence voters' decision.
For a politician, Social media is just one of the platforms that you can sell your agenda, but it doesn't mean that it is largely the one that is going to determine whether you win or not. And if anything, I think public rallies will do more good than the social media, because when you go to the public rally, you have a chance to meet with the reality. Okay? Because you can be able to read from the mood on the ground, the way the reception is, and all other factors that come into play. You can be able to tell whether you really have enough grip of that region or not, as opposed to social media, because on social media maybe you may find that most of people who follow your page are basically the people who support you.
Now, for candidates with limited resources, social media has provided an opportunity to raise contributions from their followers and the chance to engage freely with their supporters, a forum that helps shape public opinion, enhance the flow of communication between voters and candidates, and build a community of advocates for every aspirant with a strong online presence.
It attracts a lot of people who are within the platform that is the social media. So it provides a big voter reach out. But then we can't, of course, run away from the fact that it is resource effective. You use very little resources as compared to going out there, mobilizing people, calling people for rallies.
With research indicating that social media in Kenya gained its momentum in the year 2008, where Kenyans began to actively use Facebook, it is understandable why politicians used social media sparingly during the 2007 elections. Statistics indicating that the number of politicians who took advantage of social media spaces increased steadily in the 2013 elections, with a significant increase being witnessed in the 2017 elections, as over 80% of politicians had an online presence. Current data reveal that over 80% of Kenyans visit either Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, and Twitter. Now, in January 2022, internet penetration in the country was at 42% of the total population, with Kepios, a strategic marketing consultancy, publishing that between the years 2021 and 2022, internet users in Kenya increased by 1.6 million, revealing that in January 2022, there were 23.35 million internet users in the country, an indicator that political campaigns on social platforms can help amplify a candidate's popularity and enhance their reach.
The advantage of having young people on your side is that they are able to sell your agenda or your candidature among themselves. And also the fact that most of them, at least 75% and above, are on social media, you are able to tap to the large constituent of the youthful population. And they have as well the capacity to pass that message to their colleagues or their parents and relatives who may not be on social media. And therefore, you find that they find that as an effective strategy to sell their agendas.
Still, the popularity of a candidate on social media does not represent the acceptance or approval among voters. Previous elections have seen candidates who had a massive online presence and following fail to clinch victory in the ballot, an indicator that a candidate cannot rely on their popularity on social media to gauge their general influence.
I don't think popularity on social media can be a good measure of what the ground says. In fact, there's a famous phrase that says, "Kwa ground vitu ni totally different." But social media can be a good tool for political marketing. Because just like I've told you, when you have the young people, even though it may not translate to the votes, but it will help to a very large extent in terms of passing the message to the people who are not on social media. And if the message gets to the people who are not on social media, but now they are on the ground, now that is where the real vote counts. So they find that, and I want to believe that even the politicians themselves know that, yes, the votes may not be on social media, but we can use social media to pass the message to the votes on the ground. So I think largely that is the main aim.
On the flip side, however, online spaces have been used for propaganda incitement to violence and hatred, exposing politicians during the campaign period to cyberbullying. The current president, Uhuru Kenyatta, stating this is one of the reasons why he is not personally present on social platforms.
Mimi sio mtu ya hiyo, hata Twitter mnaona na hiyo. Mimi niliondoka huko. Ngaona hii kitu ni bure, ni matusi tu, hakuna kitu kingine inaendelea hapa. Right? Unakaa hapo unasoma hulali, nini wanasema nini? Huyu sasa wewe unapiga simu, unaona vile huyu mtu amenituka. Afadhali nilale bana. Niongee. Nipige story hapo na mama kidogo hapo. Nilale, niamke, niende kazi, dunia iendelee.
Now, it is believed that the August 2022 elections will undoubtedly be among the most consequential political events in Africa, with previous trends clearly indicating that winning an election does not accord relief to any politician. The spending must continue, as campaigning for the next term often begins as soon as a candidate occupies the elected office.
You have to maintain your presence with the electorate. Because then, if you don't maintain the presence with the electorate, then there's the narrative that comes in. Huyu tulipompigia kura, he took off, and he never maintained the presence. So the issue of spending, even post-election, is something that is real. You have to keep on. You have to keep a close contact, close touch with your people, and that is why you see most politicians would want money set aside or a kitty set aside that would ensure constant interaction between themselves and the electorate.
Now, to be competitive in the future election and still retain popularity amongst voters, the elected leader still has to remain consistent with the campaign trend, be it staying active on social media platforms, several theatrics while engaging with voters, or targeted advertising. The trend must keep going. Faith Kaulu for CAK TV Features.